So I'm making this thing that's called an automata, and basically they had two versions of it. There's one that you print it out and you put on a piece of foam and you cut it out, and then they had an SVG version that you would use with a CNC cutter, or I thought I might be able to use it with the Cricut Maker. So this is kind of what I started with. I started with this version first. But when I brought it into the Cricut software, it came up solid, which is kind of a problem. Maybe a problem, maybe not a problem. I can't see the holes there, so I wasn't sure if it was going to cut out the holes. What it is it made black holes because it thinks the material is black. It's kind of hard to explain. But I knew that I wanted to be able to see that I was just making one cut all the way around, that it was a solid piece, and that I was making holes into the solid piece. So I had to do some work on it. Okay, so in order to fix my problem, when I brought the SVG file into the Cricut software, I had to go into Adobe Illustrator and do a little manipulating. Basically what's happening is, I don't know exactly how to explain that, but the Cricut software is seeing all of this as one piece that's a solid color, and these dots, which I need them to cut out and be so that you can see through them. It's seeing each of these as its own object instead of seeing it as a whole. It's seeing it as a circle instead of seeing it as a hole to cut. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it might would have done it if I left it the way it was, but this way I know it'll do it. And I'm thinking the instructions say that it works with like a CNC machine, and I've never really used one of those, so I don't know. That might not be a factor there, but I know on the Cricut and to a certain degree on the Silhouette, I wanted to tell it this is one piece with holes. So what I did basically was put the piece of the box behind it, put the holes in front of it, and then I used subtract front to take the holes out so that they're not their own little holes now. I don't know how to explain it. Like now, like this is its own little hole. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna put it back, but I don't want to be able to move it. I want it to not do that. I want it to not do that at all. So that's what I'm working with right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to cut my pieces. And I could have cut them by hand, but I wanted to see, since I'm talking about having a vinyl cutter or a cutting machine like this in a maker space, I wanted to see if this was doable. Craft foam that I had at the house was too thick. Standard kind of craft foam was too thick to do this with. So I had to get some thinner craft foam. So if it works, it's going to the school. To run it through the machine. So we're gonna see how it goes. Well, that was a fail. It's still way too thick. The material is still too thick to go underneath there, so it won't cut. So I'm gonna cut it by hand. All right, so I'm going to put the little Automata thing together, and I've got to stick the paper on the foam, so I decided I was going to use some kind of something. This is a Xyron. It's a glue paper machine. Anyway, it's pretty handy. When you crank it through there, you put the heat on the back of the paper. Which I wanted to do because if I like this, then this should be enough for me to make like a couple of these. I think it takes 4 of these to make 2 little ones and 2 big ones to make a box. So I'm gonna keep the adhesive on the back of these other ones in case I like it. Then I'm ready to make 3 more. I won't lose the pieces, and I already have glue on the back. So this is what the Automata template looks like if you do the one where you cut it by hand. And I just took it out of the Xyron. I cut it, stuck it on the foam, and then I cut it out. Then I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna give up. I do have some corrugated cardboard and had a solid surface on both sides. So I wasn't sure if that was gonna work either. I know that the Cricut will cut corrugated cardboard, but it usually has a flat side and then the corrugated side. So I tried it, and it was also too thick, and it didn't work either. So my cardboard, that didn't work either, too thick. I'm actually having it cut it out of, this is birch plywood. I don't think it'll really work because I think it's going to be too thin for the cams to actually turn. But I had it here and I thought I would see what that looks like. I have contractors working downstairs, so that's not the Cricut that's loud. FYI. So I got my little thing to, I don't know. So in the little GIF, whatever, that shows what this is supposed to do, this goes up and down based on this. So if it's pushed all the way down, I can get it to go up. But I can't figure out how to make it come back down. And I've cut a little notch in it because I thought that might help, and that's not helping. So I don't know. It does kind of sort of work, but there's no way to make it fall back down. So I don't know. This is the second cam that I made. This is the first one. It was too small or something, or the hole was in the wrong spot. I'm not sure what's going on there. This is the second box that I made that I don't know if it will really make anything. And it's cut out of plywood. Birch, I think. So I'm gonna see if I have better luck with this one in a few minutes. Yeah. So I had a little bit better success with this one. It's got a different setup. It's got this big round piece that's supposed to turn, and then this little one right here. The foam is just, I bought some toner from my printer. That's what it is. It works a little better. Let me see if I can get it to move. It's something with the size of the little foam piece. Sometimes I can get it to go, and sometimes I can't. But it moves a little bit. I think it's kind of like floating. And I'm having a hard time getting the foam piece to stay where it needs, the little one down here, to stay where it needs to be. But when it is in the right place, sometimes it'll move. Well, it moved a minute ago. I don't know. And also this might be too big. So I may try it again. I might try to cut it down some and see if that makes a difference. But it did move earlier. Let's see. There it kind of goes. There it goes. And so I'm just turning the little thing I don't know. I think some of this has to do with, there it goes. It might be too top heavy, or I'm not sure. But it does move a little bit.